Right back with it. Timeout with Coach Cam. We shouldn't miss a minute. Yup. But we right back with it. Timeout with Coach Cam. We shouldn't miss a minute. Yup.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Time Out with Coach Cam. It's your boy Cam Chancellor, and I am excited to be back. Give you another episode. Of course, we got all the up-to-date sports that we will, that we will discuss this evening. We will discuss the college football playoff matchups, the coaching carousel that's been going on right now in college football. We will also discuss the Los Angeles Rams, how I feel that they need to make it to the at least the Super Bowl for this season to be considered a successful one. And we will also talk about a few topics in the NBA, how I may feel that Jason Tatum is slightly overrated, and more. But I want to thank Coast to Coast Entertainment Network for having my show. I really appreciate that. Thanks a lot there. Now, um, to get straight into it, we have a big college football playoff coming up, and obviously, I am based. For the people that don't know, I am based out of Cincinnati, so I am definitely excited about the college football playoff matchups. We have Cincinnati versus Bama, and we also have Georgia versus Michigan. Now, what I do want to say is I know everybody may not have seen Cincinnati all year, but if you have seen Cincinnati all year, know that we are legit. I don't think this is just your average group of five team. Now, I don't think we're going to just go out there and get beat up by Alabama. I just don't see that. Um, and that's just maybe me, and I don't want to sound homerish, but I just don't think we're gonna just straight up just get straight up beat up. We have all American players, caliber players on our roster, starting at the cornerback position. Sauce Gardner, that's someone I feel like you could put on one with anybody in the nation. And the fact that Michi is out, possibly out for Bama, that's a huge loss. I understand they got probably another 5 star waiting, but at the same time, it's still not Mechie, who obviously is the reason why he's out there and not the other guy. So I feel like that Sauce can win his matchup. I also if you look at Cincinnati's roster and Mel Kiper's draft board, there are 8 players on his draft board that are considered draftable players. 8. So this is like I said, this is not your average group of five team. I'm not going to sit up here and call it upset or anything, but I think you will have a good game on the 31st between them two. Obviously, the key matchup is the trenches. How can Cincinnati defensive line hold up against Bama offensive line? How can Cincinnati's offensive line hold up against Bama defensive line? That's going to be the telling uh, part of the game to me. I think far as skill positions go, obviously, the athletes Bama has, is second to none. But I think we can, hold on, hang in there. Like I said, we have 33 seniors that's been there, that's seen it all. They played that really, really good Ohio State team, even though it didn't turn out so well then. That was years ago, but they know what's at stake here, and I think they're going to come out and they're going to play well. You have a senior led quarterback who was the third winningest quarterback in NCAA history, and Desmond Ritter. I just don't see this group going out like that, like everyone expecting them to, losing by 30 out here. They're going to be beat up by 30, 40. I just don't see that in this matchup. And another, injury today for Bama Crimson Tide is Josh Joby is out. So there's a lot of things going on, with Bama right now, as far as injury wise, that I feel like the Bearcats could take advantage of. Like I said, I'm not calling out. I'm not saying my predictions thus far. It's still early. A lot of things can happen from now to the 31st. But right now I am saying that this is not going to be a blowout. I promise you that. All right. Now we got a next matchup, obviously Georgia and Michigan. Now this one is going to be, to me, it's going to go one or two ways. It's either going to be a close game or it's going to be a blowout on either side. Um, Michigan offensive line has been dominant. It's been dominant all year long. However, Georgia defensive line is different. They are different. They have big Jordan Davis up front and company. I just feel like they're not gonna let you run all over them. You're going to have to make some plays with the arm, which Michigan, give it its credit, has made the plays. I mean, we have to give them credit. They've made a few plays this year to help themselves. So if you're looking at the game, I think that's going to be, it could go either way. However, I think Georgia has the edge, and I think they have the better defense. I think overall, even though Bennett, he's that big question mark, but if you go skill for skill, player for player, for the Georgia Bulldogs, I just think they are better. I don't think that Michigan can make enough plays in the passing game to stretch out that Georgia defense. I think Georgia would be a little bit too much for Michigan, in my opinion. Like I said, a lot can change, but for right now, the way I'm looking at it, matchup wise, uh, Michigan's not going to just be able to run it down Georgia's throat like they've been able to do most teams all year. It's just not, and I'm not one of those guys to say that you know. SEC this, SEC that. I'm not one of those guys. I look at it by team, case by case basis, and I feel that Georgia matches. I mean, Georgia is a matchup nightmare for Michigan in this instance. That where I don't think they could do enough in the passing game for to spread Georgia out and to be able to run the ball. Uh, and I'll get to the comments here in a second. And and I look, I look at Georgia. The only weakness on Georgia is that quarterback position. I'm not sold on the offense just because the quarterback is so bad. Bennett is a heck of a game manager. If they can get the run game going, then he can play off of that. However, Michigan has a good defensive front too. They have two edge rushers. Probably I'll say the two best, like two combo fars on each edge. Combination of edge rushers in the nation. That's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Georgia, but they're going to have to get plays in the running game to open up the passing game because Bennett is not going to win you a game. That's what we do know. We seen that against Alabama. He's not going to win you a game. He's not definitely not going to lose it. Bennett's not going to lose a game, but he's not going to win you a game. And in the playoffs, you need someone to win you a game at the quarterback position. So that's where I'm at with both of them. Like, am I leaning towards Georgia? Absolutely, but weaknesses can wear his head, especially at the in college football playoffs, where when you don't have a solid quarterback, it's not going to look too good for you moving forward. And I look at that, or I look at some, Notre Dame teams. I know Ian Book was, you know, he was glorified at Notre Dame, but I didn't think he was very good. So you look at him in the college football playoffs. You know, of course, he can't get enough offense going because they rely on the run game. He couldn't win them a game. I look at, I believe Washington made it to the college football playoffs one year. And I forgot, I believe their quarterback name was Jake Browning. Just not good enough. I don't believe they scored a point. So in the college football playoffs, you have to have a quarterback that's mature, that's been there, that know how to make plays in big moments for you to succeed. So even like I said, even though I'm leaning towards Georgia, right now Michigan got some things working for them that can really make this a really tight game. I'll go to the comments here. Let's see here. I got Benjamin McDonald says UC versus Michigan for it all national championship in Indy. That would be good. I would love that matchup. I would definitely take that for the national championship. Jay Coop in the house said I'm starting to think Georgia took that L on purpose. I'm not gonna say that because Kirby Smart really wants to beat Nick Saban. He's never beat him. It was for it all SEC championship. I can't see that. being the case. But who knows? I, I mean, would you rather play Michigan than UC? I mean, is that what we saying? Is that like I said, UC's no joke. I think they belong. And it's gonna be a very good game, and I think I'm excited for sure as a UC fan that we finally got in. But you know, I can't say that they took that L on purpose. C Bank says, let's see, Michigan stop. Michigan gets blown out by 20 plus. With that quarterback, I don't know. I don't know if Georgia can blow anybody out like that, but we will definitely see. Now moving on, what I do want to discuss is what the past 2 weeks have been absolutely crazy, far as the college football carousel, coaching carousel, that is. Now, it all started with Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley turned down the LSU job to only days later take the USC job, which kind of threw everybody kind of by surprise. And what and what he did was set the market at a new rate. $100+ million, private jet. They gonna pay off his home in Oklahoma. He gets a new home in SC. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. But if you're USC, you have to love the hire. You're in a conference in which it's not great. Anybody can get it. You see, Utah won it this year. So you figure if you can get Lincoln Riley in there, Lincoln Riley getting his recruits in there, he's going to get an offense in there. He'll be able to recruit probably better defensive players in California. Now you got something. Now you can bring back that USC prestige where you had, Liner, Bush, but those days, bring out the early 2000s. That's what they're looking for. And I think they got their guy in Lincoln Riley. I do like him as a coach. I do like him as an offensive mastermind. But one thing that, even though he was an offensive guy, you're a head coach. And one thing he never was able to get in Oklahoma was a solid defense. So I am anxious to see how this defense ends up turning out at USC as well. Because like I know the offense will be on point, but if they can get stops with some of that offense, not only will you possibly see, Pac-12 championships and Lincoln Riley future at USC, you could possibly see national championships and you could Lincoln Riley future at USC if he can get that defense together, knowing the caliber offense that he will be able to put together. Now, another crazy move from our boy we know so well. We know this very, very, very well here in Cincinnati. Brian Kelly. It was reports came out that he was going to leave for LSU. He comes out and says, "Oh, no, 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 no. Blank check. I need a blank check. Then maybe me and my wife can talk. I need a $200 million deal. All this stuff. Talking, talking, talking out the side of his mouth. Next few days, well, that following Monday, excuse me, he's gone. Don't nobody know where he is. He's gotten ghost. To follow it up that evening with Brian Kelly is now the new coach at LSU. Now, I'm never going to say, hey, don't better yourself. Don't take a pay raise. Don't put yourself in a better position. I am never going to say that. However, when you're dealing with kids, man, 18 to 22-year-olds, who you done looked at these parents in the eye and then said, I'm gonna take care of your son, I'm gonna do this by your son, should will be able to trust me, you can trust me with your son, blah 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 blah. And you don't have the decency once again to tell these kids that you're leaving. First, they have to hear it through news outlet. And they had no idea because you just said a few days ago that you weren't going anywhere. It's a way you do things. Lincoln Riley did it the same way. For me, it's a way you do things. Cause for me, if I'm a recruit and Brian Kelly coming to my home, I'm asking like, how can I trust you, sir? How can I trust you when you just said you were staying at Notre Dame a few days ago? Now you're at LSU. I mean, you basically lied to another group of kids. How can I know that I can trust you coming to your school to play for you? That would be my question as a recruit. That would be my question as a parent. Before I send my son off, how can I trust you? How I know if hypothetically speaking, the New York Jets come calling and offer you 10 years, 120 million, you won't leave. It's a legit question to ask. So, but Brian Kelly is a winner. Let's not get it twisted. Brian Kelly is a winner. He's a good coach under circumstances in which the recruiting hindrance that you have at Notre Dame, in which you really can't, get every athlete because of academics. He found a way to keep winning. I'm not knocking his coaching ability. I do find it as an odd fit. I don't know if it's necessarily going to work, but that's something we will see. But the funny thing about Brian Kelly is how he faked that Southern accent when he got to LSU. Now that's funny. To me, that's just phony stuff. Like if I'm a recruiter or a parent, I wouldn't necessarily want to send my kid to play there. But Brian Kelly's a winner. Uh, we'll see how it goes. I think it's an odd fit. But we'll see. We'll see. That'll be definitely something that I'm keeping my eye on for the next few years there at LSU. Now, another job obviously that opened up, what was kind of weird how things kind of played out with this one, was the Miami U job. Mario Cristobal left Oregon to go to Miami. It almost seemed like they hired Cristobal before firing Diaz. I seen the hiring of Mario Cristobal before I seen Miami fire Diaz. I'm like, they ain't even announced they fired Diaz yet. So I wonder how that went. But Mario Cristobal, college football got a little extra spice to it when the U is good. When the U is good, just got a little extra little sauce on it. And I'm hoping Mario Cristobal can actually recruit Florida, recruit Miami Dade, and get the U back to where it needs to be. And that's giving us entertainment and being good. So I really do. I'm rooting for Mario Cristobal. He's a good coach. I know one thing: they will be physical. He was a lineman, so they will be physical up front. So that would be that's a good fit. I think they finally got it right there at Miami because I knew Diaz wasn't going to work, and a couple other hires just simply wasn't it. I understand they had I think believe Mark Rick. That just wasn't the hire there. But I think Mario Cristobal will get the U back to where it needs to be. Before I talk about some more coaches here, let's see. As long as Jay Coop says, as long as we don't pull a ND in the playoffs, I will be happy, and I agree with that. Just don't pull an order day. Just be competitive. You know, I I will be, sitting up here lying to you if I feel 110% confident that we will win. But I am 110% confident that we will be competitive. Let's see here. Jacob one thing in comment says OU to USC, and his hand-picked quarterback to go to UCLA. That game next year is going to be sold out, maybe on pay-per-view. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. To see how everything shakes out with Lincoln Riley. But I think they're going to be good, and I think they're going to be good in a hurry. He's a good coach. People buy into him. He's young, relatable. So it's going to be interesting. I think USC really, really, really hit a home run with this hire. Let's see here. So how you feel about Chip Kelly going back to Oregon? I think Ratliff will follow him. Yep, and I think that's what Jay Cooper was saying above. And you know what? I think Chip Kelly is going back to Oregon. UCLA is kind of rough to recruit at. It's a basketball school. No matter what, there will always be a basketball school, and it's so kind of hard to recruit there. Especially you still have USC, and now other West Coast teams, stepping up and being solid. You got Oregon, which is always an attraction with the uniforms in itself. So um, if I'm Chip Kelly, I feel like he is going back to Oregon, and he'll be able to get Rattler, and he'll be able to open up his offense and really do what he wants to do with that offense and play fast and play with tempo and do what really got made him successful in college football. Let's see here. Benjamin McDonald says Brian Kelly is overrated. I don't think he's overrated. I think he's a solid coach. Even what he did. I understand what he did to the University of Cincinnati and how he did it, but I do think he's a solid coach. He just goes about things crazy sometimes, but can't take away the type of coach he is. Let's see here. So my nephew is playing for him next year. Hope the U gets back to greatness. Referring to Cristobal. Hey, I hope so too, man. I really do. But I do want to talk about this Um, Brent Venables hire. I think that was a great hire as well for Oklahoma. He's an Oklahoma guy, someone that will take pride in making sure that Oklahoma stays where it needs to be, especially heading into the SEC, where they'll definitely pick up the competition level there. Um, and that's also a big loss for Clemson. Brent Venables was a huge part of that staff, a huge part of what they do, and I'll get into that later on my final take because I really feel that you know things are things are changing in Clemson. I really do. So we'll definitely see. But I like Brent Venables. I like him a lot. I think he'll be a good coach there at OU. It was kind of a not a sexy hire, but it was a safe hire, and the right hire to make. And the last one there I want to acknowledge is Marcus Freeman. Got his was able to get the job at Notre Dame, and I'm happy for him as a former defensive coordinator here at Cincinnati under Luke Fickle. Um, you know, players coach, uh, very demanding, but players love him. Players love him. And he just said that one thing that like even though if Cincinnati would have lost, it would have put us in the playoffs. He said I just simply couldn't root against, basically my kids. Kids that I recruited. Things like that. So, just a great guy, uh, hardworking guy. Is going to demand the best out of his players, and I think Notre Dame hit a home run. I think Notre Dame is really, 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 um, you know, it's going to be up to some things here in the future with Marcus Freeman. He can recruit well. Um, and he's gonna keep all those recruits pretty much. So they're in good position. I think that first game will be interesting next year. Notre Dame versus Ohio State. Got that one circled already, so it's gonna definitely be an interesting one. Comment here, J. Coop said Fickle stayed down. I love that guy. Yeah, he stayed down. I think timing had a lot to do with that, but he did. He stayed. One thing he didn't do is he didn't lead them seniors, all them seniors that came back from, for him. He did not leave them hanging. He did not lead them hanging. So I will always tip my cap for him, with that because we always wondered, you know, back when we played for 13-0, or we was 12-0, excuse me, and we just missed the BCS national championship game, and everybody was saying if we really made it to the national championship that year, would Brian Kelly have stayed? The answer would have been no, and we found out the answer by what he did to Notre Dame. The answer would have been no, so he would have left us high and dry in the national championship. So we got our answer there, and we got our answer with Luke Fickle is that he wouldn't do the kids dirty like that. Asked him to come back. They came back for him, and he stayed. So I definitely respect Luke Fickle respect Luke. Definitely respect respect what he's done here at Cincinnati, and go Bearcats in this playoffs. All right, but moving on now, I want to discuss and I want to change topics here because I was talking about football here. I want to go to the NBA. I want to go to the NBA, and I want to discuss some things. I want to discuss two players that I feel that really, 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 really need to get it together. Okay, two players that I really, really, really feel needs to get it together. One, my boy included, Luka Doncic needs to get it together. Luka Doncic needs to get it together. Not in shape, overweight again. Come on. At what point are you going to come in shape? Admittedly came in 260 pounds. Why? I understand, yes, he's still averaging 26, 8 and 8, whatever. But that's we know you can average that. You do so much better in peak performance. And now understanding in these playoff series why he gets tired in the fourth quarter. Why we can't close that game when we're up in the fourth quarter because he's tired. It's not because he's logging all the minutes because he's doing everything. He's tired. You have to keep in tip top shape. That's the difference between your great and elite players. That's the difference between your Jordans, your Kobe's, your LeBrons. They in shape. They stay in shape. Zion Williamson. And I told people that his weight would be a problem when he came in the league. The way he plays, how athletically gifted as he is, him being that heavy is not good for the lower extremities. It's not gonna be good for knees, not gonna be good for feet. And when he got drafted to New Orleans, I said, "Uh-oh, the food too good down in New Orleans. You got that gumbo, you got that jambalaya, you got that catfish, you got that crawfish, you got everything down there to nibble on." And injuries don't help. Like when you hurt, and you really can't run or move, and then you eating, it's not good. And I know some people saying, "Oh, he's trying to play his way out. He's trying to play his way out." No, I don't think he's trying to play his way out of there. He gotta get his body right, and he gotta work on his game some more. He needs to be able to make a jump shot, not a three. He needs to be able to make a jump shot. So for me, those two are potential faces of the league. As you know, as we move the game forward, those two must get their bodies right, get in shape, and show the world what they really can do at peak performance. Because Luca has already been, he's not there. He's not there. So we gotta get better. They both got to get better at that. They both got to take the off season just as serious as in season. Because preparation is everything. Moving on, still talking about the NBA. Jason Tatum. I hear a lot about Jason Tatum. I hear a lot about how Jason Tatum is this, Jason Tatum is that, Jason Tatum the next this. He's a volume scorer. Jason Tatum is a volume scorer. And that's cool. That's okay. I mean, it's been a lot of volume scorers in this league. But I have a question. Name me a volume scorer who's one dimensional. And what I mean by that is he don't play on the other end on the floor. He don't defend. He's not the best playmaker in the world. He's not going to make anybody else around him that much better. So when you look at players like that around this league, what have they won? What have their teams look like? I lump those type in the almost the Carmelo mode. And there's no disrespect to Carmelo because Carmelo one of the best scorers this league has ever seen. However, outside of a Western Conference Finals appearance, Melo's teams didn't really win, and that's where Jason Tatum is headed. Obviously, him and Jalen Brown can't go coexist. They're trying to outdo each other. And Jason Tatum's takes some of the worst shots I've ever seen in my life. The absolute worst. I understand what y'all see. Y'all look at the raw stats. Y'all see the 26 points. Y'all see the 8 rebound, whatever. Y'all see that stuff. But I see only shooting 41% from the field. I see only shooting 33 percent from three. I see the lack of defense. I see the lack of playmaking ability. And I'm saying Jason Tatum is nothing but a scorer, and he cannot be a number one on a team to contend for anything. He can't be the number one option. That's what I'm saying. Because when I think of superstars, I think of a handful of players when you consider talk about superstars. Jason Tatum is a star. He's not a superstar. A superstar can lead you to the finals. You have a roster right now. Are you picking Jason Tatum to lead your team to the finals? And no, he don't. He doesn't play D. Oh, I think you were referring to comment above here. I'm sorry about that, J. Coop. Uh, you said Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, Kawhi Leonard doesn't need to be in this discussion here. He's one of the best perimeter defensive players this league has seen. He's won 2 rings. One with the Spurs. One was where he carried the Raptors on his back. So he has done that. So yeah, Kawhi is he's definitely cemented himself. And has his own little legacy or whatever. But no. For me, Jason Tatum doesn't bring you that. And at some point, we have to look at possibly splitting them two up. And I'm talking about Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum. By the way, I want to say Danny Ainge messed this team up. Danny Ainge had a great window where he had a boatload of picks, where he had flexibility cap wise, where he could have made a trade to get a bona fide superstar in there, and he wouldn't do it. And he wouldn't do it. Question: You said Tatum and Brown. Who do you keep? Honestly, I could get more for Tatum. I would trade Jason Tatum and I would keep Brown just all because of perception. People love Tatum and they would give up a boatload to get him. I would trade Tatum and get all them assets, keep Brown because I know Brown still could give me 25 a night. And I know Brown will play and give effort on the defensive end as well. So I would keep, to my opinion, and I know I'm in a rare majority, but I would keep Jalen Brown over Jason Tatum, and I would get a boatload, and I mean a boatload of picks or whatever I need to get for Jason Tatum. But one of them has to go. They gotta go. It's that simple. They gotta go. All right. Now the Rams, and I'm going to the NFL. The Rams. Everybody kept telling me, "Oh, Jared Goff is sorry and this, that, and the third." And Jared Goff is Jared Goff. He is what he is. However, when they said that it was trading for Matthew Stafford, I said, and everybody talk about, so, "Oh, that's gonna send him over the top." I'm like, huh? I don't see it. And for me, when you make a trade like that, anytime you give up your own starting quarterback who led you to the Super Bowl, multiple playoff appearances. Anytime you trade a guy like that, first round pick, third round pick, I need a Super Bowl out of that quarterback I'm getting. And you made that trade thinking Stafford will get you over the hump. You add Von Miller, you add OBJ. They have to at least attend the Super Bowl for this season to be successful in my eyes. Nothing short of that. I don't want to hear any excuses. And I'll go as far as say, look, we needed to keep an eye on Sean McVay too. Not far as getting fired, but I mean, come on. Basically, Goff was your scapegoat. Goff was your scapegoat. So you traded him, getting something better, and you're about the same as you were last year around this time. What's changing? Nothing much, really. Are they a little better? Maybe. But but one thing I will say is Sean McVay's running out of excuses. You getting every player you want. OBJ, Von Miller, traded for Jalen Ramsey years ago. Traded for Stafford. Got weapons everywhere. What's going on? So for me, I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to hear any excuses. Rams better make the Super Bowl. And if they don't, I'm looking at Sean McVay. Now for my final take, and I was talking about it earlier, how special Brent Venable was to Clemson. I said that. Say he was very special, he's very instrumental in what they do. Because if you look at the past, I say, I guess 10 years, I say anywhere from really like 6 to 8 years, where they had defenses. They had a lot of players that's in the NFL from defense. Look at the defensive lines over the years, corners over the years. So Brent Venable was did a lot for Dabo and for Clemson. I'm here to say this. I'm here to say that Clemson is done. The Clemson era, the Dabo Sweeney kind of era is coming to an end. Here's why. Dabo always had far as college wise, always had generational quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence. When stuff got sticky, he always had, if not arguably, the best player on the field. So then you fast forward to this year, where you don't have that generational quarterback, where you don't have necessarily the best running back in the nation, a la ETN. You get a 9-3, a 8-4 type year. You see things start to show. You see things start to show. And I just feel like the luster with Clemson and everything like that, it's gone. It's gone. And who knows? Maybe it's because, the players are getting paid now, getting NIL deals. Remember, Dabo said if he ever, if players ever got, paid or anything like that, he'll stop coaching. So maybe since the players are getting paid, uh, he's not that motivated. I don't know. But I think Clemson is headed downhill. I think you will see Dabo Sweeney step away within the next 2 years. And I see the comment here from J. Coop says Dabo will be canceled in 2 years. I think he'll step down. I think he'll retire, step down, do something else. Uh, Maybe step down, pull the Urban Meyer, go in the booth for a little while, and then one of these major jobs open up, and he'll get the bag thrown at him and go back somewhere else and try it again. But for right now, I think Clemson is headed towards that place where um they're not going to be year in and year out in the college football playoffs like we have seen them these past 3 4 years. All right, that's it. Another episode of Timeout with Coach Cam. I appreciate you everybody for watching. Um, keep supporting. I'll be here every Thursday, 9:15, unless otherwise. Until next time, peace.